Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're plunging into a subject that's seemingly straightforward but completely essential to your well-being, particularly once you sail beyond that milestone of 50 years. We're about to discuss water. Now, I realize what might be running through your mind. Dr. Carter, I consume ample water. I'm staying hydrated. And you could well be correct. You're probably taking in sufficient quantity. But here's the issue. Regular water alone frequently falls short. Actually, for guys beyond 50 who care about vigor, stamina, and indeed that crucial circulation of blood, sipping just plain water represents a huge, overlooked chance. It's akin to possessing a Ferrari, yet only shifting it into first gear for drives. Here, we're not merely addressing hydration. We're delving into cellular communication, vascular adaptability, and the pure electrical energy within your system. With advancing years, the capacity of your body to take in and make use of vital micronutrients shifts profoundly. What served you well back in your 20s and 30s no longer suffices today. In particular, I'd like to focus on minerals, those overlooked champions of your inner environment. These tiny components handle everything from controlling your heart rhythm to relaying nerve impulses. And most vitally for our chat here, easing your blood vessels while guaranteeing a robust, steady stream of blood across every area of your body, encompassing the regions vital for top-notch function. If you're a fellow over 50 seeking a straightforward, budget-friendly, everyday tweak that pairs seamlessly with all the other smart moves you're making, your eating habits, your workouts, your supplements, then this video is tailored for you. I'm set to present not merely one, but several potent mineral choices and demonstrate precisely why and how slipping in merely a tiny dash of the appropriate addition to your routine water consumption can radically transform your stamina and your overall liveliness. Once we're through, you'll view a glass of ordinary water in an entirely new light forever. Let's start by examining the structure of aging and staying hydrated. Back when you were younger, your kidneys operated as top-tier filters. Your gut was a nutrient uptake powerhouse. You perspired, you hydrated, you assimilated, and your system maintained ideal equilibrium across the board. As we hit our 50s, certain shifts begin that affect the way our body processes water. Firstly, your sense of thirst weakens. You no longer experience that intense urge to drink, resulting in ongoing mild dehydration, even though you believe you're getting enough fluids. Secondly, your kidneys grow less adept at holding on to water, prompting you to lose key minerals and electrolytes faster than you can replenish them. You turn into a gradual drip, steadily sapping that valuable energy reserve. Thirdly, and most importantly for circulation, let's discuss the vascular network. It's the lining of your arteries and capillaries where the real action unfolds. As time passes, those sleek muscle linings can stiffen and lose their give, so they fail to loosen readily on cue. This rigidity stands as the foe of vigorous blood movement. Plain water on its own merely moistens the liquid surrounding your cells. It excels at restoring bulk, yet it lacks the electric spark needed to assist the water and the nutrients it transports in penetrating the cell barrier. That electric spark derives from electrolytes, which are just minerals suspended in water that conduct an electrical signal. Whenever these vital minerals run low, your cell-to-cell messaging falters. Your muscles have trouble tightening, your nerves glitch, and your blood vessels miss the precise directive to expand and widen. This goes beyond guzzling upscale mineral water. It's about stepping up as a savvy, knowledgeable champion of your own health, grasping which particular minerals tend to deplete most and prove most essential for vascular wellness as years accumulate. If there's a single mineral I'd urge every man past 50 to prioritize, it's magnesium. Magnesium stands as an outright dynamo. It participates in more than 300 varied enzymatic reactions within the body. If you've caught my talks in the past, you know I dub it the supreme relaxer mineral. It handles loosening smooth muscles all over your frame. Now, where do these smooth muscles matter hugely for male energy? They're present throughout, but especially in the linings of your arteries and the corpora cavernosa, those spongy, tube-like structures inside the penis that engorge with blood to form an erection. For circulation to hit its best, the arterial linings must stay supple. Upon receiving the body's cue, the neural prompt that action time has arrived, they must manage to unwind, expand, and swing open broadly. This vasodilation process relies heavily on having plenty of magnesium on hand. When you're short on magnesium, and honestly, more than 75% of adults are, thanks to depleted soils and today's eating patterns, your blood vessels stay perpetually taut, mildly narrowed. This goes by the name of vasoconstriction. Magnesium works to offset this strain. It functions much like a potent natural blocker of calcium channels, and calcium happens to be the mineral that drives muscle tightening. Magnesium basically intervenes and declares, wait a moment, let's pause for air. Let's ease off the strain. Incorporating a form of magnesium that's highly absorbable into your water serves as a fantastic method to promote full body calm. It gets taken up swiftly via the intestines, flows into the circulation, and right away begins broadcasting those ease-up messages to your heart and vessel system. This converts straight into smoother, firmer, and longer-lasting circulation all through your body, which, needless to say, delivers huge gains for general stamina and personal prowess. The next mineral we ought to recapture is sodium. I get it. For years on end, we've heard sodium painted as the villain, tied to elevated pressure and cardiac issues. But here's where nuance and caliber come into sharp focus. The trouble isn't with sodium per se. The trouble lies in the enormous quantities of low-grade refined table salt lurking in packaged eats. That stark white, over-processed powder has had nearly all other minerals yanked away, resulting in a stark, intense compound that disrupts your body's subtle electrolyte harmony into disarray. On the flip side, pristine, unprocessed sea salt or pink Himalayan salt tells a wholly distinct tale. These varieties hold not only sodium chloride, but a full array of trace elements, frequently up to 84 varied ones, including traces of potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Sodium serves as the chief overseer of hydration. It proves utterly vital for upholding the correct fluid equilibrium both within and beyond your cells. Lacking sufficient sodium, your system fights to retain the water you ingest, so you'll keep chugging more only to flush it right out. This creates that ongoing sense of thirst even after downing jug after jug. Moreover, sodium teams up dynamically with potassium to fuel the sodium-potassium pump, the system that energizes nearly every bit of cellular work, from nerve transmission to muscle flexing. Securing ample top-tier sodium in your water makes certain that the liquid you consume gets drawn properly into the cells where it's meant to go, yielding top-notch cellular moistening, sharper nerve reactions, and smoother muscle operations. A mere tiny sprinkle of premium, unrefined salt into a big tumbler of water, especially come morning, stands worlds apart nutritionally from the dense salt load in a sack of crisps. This easy tweak can sharply boost your hydration status, which in turn refines your blood volume, easing your heart's pumping task and your vessel's delivery of oxygen to the spots that crave it most. If magnesium acts as the relaxer and sodium as the overseer, then potassium functions as the offset. Potassium forms the third pillar of the electrolyte setup, and its main role involves securing accurate cell messaging, particularly in the heart tissue and across the vascular web. While magnesium eases the arteries, potassium collaborates tightly with sodium to sustain that key electrical difference spanning cell walls. Importantly, potassium boasts a solidly proven part in handling blood pressure. It aids your body in shedding surplus sodium, which can aid fellas already facing elevated pressure or whose meals tilt toward packaged goods. The equilibrium between sodium and potassium walks a narrow path, and in today's Western eating style, the bulk of folks take in way too much refined sodium while skimping severely on potassium, which thrives in fresh produce, like fruits and veggies. When we discuss boosting circulation, we're aiming for a balanced synergy. You require sufficient good sodium to draw water cellward, but ample potassium to offset it. This keeps your arterial linings supple and reactive. Bringing in potassium might pose a slight challenge, since excess can spell trouble. But boosting with a modest quantity of readily soluble potassium chloride granules or opting for a potassium-packed mineral mix in your water ranks as a stellar plan to reset this frequently ignored mineral proportion. Through bolstering this subtle harmony, you're equipping your heart and your full array of blood pathways with the means to run at maximum output. Though not a standard electrolyte like magnesium or sodium, zinc emerges as a mineral wielding a hugely significant influence on male energy, rendering its slot in an everyday water boost especially worthwhile, above all for seasoned gents. Zinc anchors the creation and control of testosterone. Studies repeatedly indicate that even slight shortfalls in zinc can harm testicular operations, yielding drops in this key male essence. Given that testosterone underpins stamina, disposition, muscle bulk, and drive, locking in solid zinc levels remains a must for men beyond 50. Past the hormonal side, zinc powers your defenses like a beast. As years pile on, immune strength tends to wane, heightening illness risks. Sustaining a sturdy immune front demands a constant, dependable zinc flow, which forms a core building block for myriad immune fighters. While you wouldn't dump heaps of zinc dust into water, deploying a premium liquid zinc booster, typically merely a couple drops in your water daily, proves an outstanding route to steady, top absorbability dosing. This shines especially since zinc often absorbs feebly from pills. By stirring in those few drops to your water, you're assuring this key controller hits your system pronto, backing your protective barriers and vitally upholding that hormonal preparedness fueling genuine liveliness. Lastly, let's quickly cover iron. Though iron boosting usually calls only if a confirmed shortfall exists, and you must chat with your doc prior to any iron add-ons. It's key to grasp its core part in circulation. Iron forms the heart of hemoglobin, the red blood cell protein tasked exclusively with ferrying oxygen from lungs to every cell throughout your frame, from muscles to those essential tissues needing oxygen for firmness. Absent enough iron, your blood fails to haul sufficient oxygen, sparking weariness, sluggishness, and an all-around drained sensation. This state, termed anemia, hits function and energy hard by denying your tissues their prime energy source. Should your physician flag low iron, employing a mild, well-absorbed liquid iron add-on blended into water can shift the game. It elevates your circulation's caliber by ramping up its oxygen transport power. Keep in mind, robust circulation goes beyond mere quantity. It's rooted in the excellence of the payload transported. The core aim of these suggestions centers on building steady habits, not layering needless intricacy onto your packed schedule. You shouldn't at all feel driven to toss each of these vital minerals into every water glass with every swallow. The sharpest tactic involves a pinpoint method to rotate these boosters and tackle the exact mineral gaps tying most to your present routine and wellness aims. The easiest spot to kick off reshaping your liquid habits lies with the daily vasodilator boost, a regimen zeroed in on calm and fine-tuning circulation. Kick this off right at dawn, establishing an upbeat flow vibe for the whole day ahead. Into an ample glass or a carry-along bottle of water, select from a pair of choices: The initial involves slipping in an accessible magnesium powder variant. Since uptake matters most, pick a super-soluble option like magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate in powder form. Start small, say half a standard teaspoon, or stick precisely to the package's advised daily amount, making sure the powder fully melts into the water pre-drink. This acts as a strong cue to your vessel network to unwind and broaden. Or you could lean toward the salt boost, the most basic bedrock fix. Should you go that route, add merely a scant pinch of superior unrefined sea salt. And by scant, I mean a quantity that scarcely cloaks the merest end of your pinky tip. This delivers core full-range electrolytes to amp up cell-level moistening from your day's outset. Extending past everyday calm, we turn to the hormone and defense lift, a plan honed on broader system oversight. To lock in these essential trace elements, commit to weaving this in once daily, best paired with a primary meal. The pick here is zinc droplets via a fluid zinc add-on. Dosing the suggested measure of this fluid straight into a water glass ranks as a prime technique, as it neatly sidesteps the frequent hurdles of weak uptake and gut upset that dog conventional zinc pills at times. This effortless fluid method ensures your key protective front and hormonal prep get dependable daily backing. At last, we tackle the pressure equalizer, aimed at retuning your body's pivotal electrolyte mix. If your fresh produce consumption falls short, or if you're routinely super active, sweating buckets through workouts, then zero in tight on your potassium status. For that, hunt a potassium-loaded mix, particularly an electrolyte dust crafted low-sugar yet brimming with hearty potassium. A proposed routine calls for blending roughly a half scoop of this dust into your water, sipping it amid the session or straight after to offset outflows and speed rebound. By pledging to weave these minor but deeply intentional shifts into your usual water flow, you're smoothly evolving your practice from basic moistening to a dynamic realm of purposeful hydration. You're done just topping off your reserve. You're deliberately crafting an energized, nutrient-packed fluid that your cells spot and harness on the spot. This dispatches bold, clear biochemical cues across your whole vessel grid, urging them to soften, expand completely, and thus supply top-tier flow-boosting blood to each vital spot. This goes past plain water now. It evolves into a fluid mineral enhancer, precisely tuned to meet the shifting needs of a body crossing that 50-year line. I encourage you to test this easy boost with rock-solid steadiness across a solid 3-week stretch, and tune in sharp to the clear gains in your everyday stamina, your thought sharpness, your bodily power, and your sweeping liveliness. Embracing this single, potent move right now promises a surefire payoff your 60-year-old version will surely appreciate down the line. Thanks heaps for tuning in. If this info struck you as useful, give that like a tap, sign up for extra wellness and energy pointers, and pass this clip to a pal who might still stick to basic water. Drop in the comments which mineral you'll kick off with today. I'm Dr.